inside DHA's Box of Rock with two of my brothers, Josh, Todd, and Stevie.
What's up?
From Buckcherry. I love these guys. You guys can clap in the background. We have our WDHA studio audience. Make some noise. We usually don't have an audience for Box of Rock. We usually film in a little room, but we have such amazing fans here. First of all, Warpaint, the new collection, is just brilliant. So I figured I'm going to pick a couple of tunes, and I want you guys to talk more about them than I would talk more about them. And I'm just going to sort of go random. I mean, there's a song here, Josh, that I love called Back Down. Tell me a little bit about Back Down, which wasn't the first single. First single is Bent. Warpaint is the title track. But when I first heard Back Down, I was like, damn, this is good.
Yeah, from what I can remember, Stevie sent me the music to that, and it was greasy and soulful, and that's always a softball for me. I love that kind of stuff, and I think he knows that. I think we had written a bunch of rockers before that, so I was ready for something a little more mid-tempo, and it just came together nicely. And my favorite part about the song is actually the melodies and the verses. You know, they kind of remind me of like an old STP like melody, you know, and so it happened pretty quick. We wrote that song fast. And then the bridge just kind of opens it up and gets you away from everything for a second.
The bridge is kind of like Beatlesy, but the impetus, if you will, I was listening to a lot of Stones and Black Crowes at that point, you know, just kind of inspiration. So there's open G tuning, there's slide, and that one, it felt like it wrote itself. You know, the riff came really easy, and then he came in and sang it, you know, top to bottom, and that doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah. Like this record is like an all killer, no filler, like kind of a top to bottom record.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good phrase.
So much all killer, no filler, man. It's just really good. Now there's a track called The Vacuum that I love. Your play. I think for you, Stevie, like this record for me, with you as a guitar player, like you really kind of came into your own on this record. I really hear that. And I heard it for the first time. I made that sort of fan assumption, on The Vacuum. So tell me a little bit about that song.
Josh came to me during the Conflict record, You're the Tiger, and he's like, I want some Guitar Hero stuff. So I just went deep and just started coming up with riffs, and that was like one of the first that we came up with that on the road, and that was one of the first riffs for Warpaint. Yeah. But it's Tom Morello inspired. You know, it's Jimmy Page inspired, and those are two of my favorite guitar heroes. You know, so.
Guitar Hero stuff. I love that. I also want to talk about the first single that went to radio, and Bent, which ironically you said we didn't even know if it was going to make the record. You guys wrote 30 to 40 songs for this.
Yes.
But I think it's like an absolute perfect Buckcherry single. So tell me a little bit about it.
I'm glad you like it. You know,
love it.
I think that was the third verse I had written for that song because we had this great verse, and the verse is so great. It pulls you in, and it's just like bam, and I could never get the chorus to pop until that the third chorus, and then it just kind of opened up. And the song's about, just I was kind of frustrated with a lot of things in our life at that time. Stevie and I, we were going through a lot of stuff, and I felt like, gosh, we got to make the record of our career once again. You know, we're like we're backed up against the wall, and it's hard to like make that statement and then just go in and just, feel free and just go in and write whatever comes to your head. You know, you have this like whole weight of the world on your shoulders. So that's what came out, and it really made for a great melody. Yeah,
and there's a great video too, where when I watch the video that goes with the song, it's so Buckcherry. It's like life on the road, performance piece, here, there, everything's moving so quickly, but you can still see the camaraderie with the band. It's like perfect. Yeah. It really works.
Yeah, us freezing our gonads off in the UK and Europe, and we actually wanted to get the Beatles shot, the classic one where they're walking across the street and it rained that day, and we were like, we're not going out there.
Abbey Road. And of course a song that I just fell madly in love with, and that was Radio Song. I heard it and I was just like, being such a radio girl and kid that was, grown up on radio and had it be such an important part of my life. So why did you decide to write a song about radio?
Like you said, it's always been the radio has really kind of marked our summer times when we were kids. It always gets you out of your head, brings you to a good place if you're having a rough day, and I wanted to capture that in song, how important it is, to hear a great song and what it can do for your overall situation. And that's it.
I love this collection. 20 years of Buckcherry too, which is
20
extraordinary.
years, yes.
20 years
Yes.
20 years ago, did you ever think that 20 years later you would, I'm not going to say still be doing it, because of course you would think that, but be as fulfilled as you are now? This seems like it's a really good time for you and for the band.
Yeah, actually I did think that, when I was dreaming as a young man, I wanted to be in one band for a long time and make a catalog of music, and that was always the focus for me, myself, I'm sure Stevie too, and it happened.
Mission accomplished. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Warpaint, phenomenal, and I love you guys.
Love you.
Love you, darling.